Welcome back, guys. Kakati, if you're a parent and you are Ugandan, this video is specifically made for you. And even if you haven't become a parent, and you're probably hoping to be a parent next year or maybe in the next coming 5 years, this is your video. Now, a week ago, we saw the primary leaving exams being released and kids now are going to high school, which is great and also sad at the same time, but I will tell you why it's sad at the same time later on. All the way at the end, that's where I will explain why it's sad. Now, last year's Form 4 kids and S6 students were the last of the batch of our generation when it comes to the curriculum that were being taught. Now, you know, back in the day, when you graduated in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, probably in the 40s as well, but 50s, 60s, and 70s, you were rest assured you're going to get a job. Like kids who graduated within those years, when they came out of school, they were rest assured they are going to get employed. And these were the kids who were like elites, eh? They were very like smart and stuff like that. Now, fast forward in 2000 and, okay, let's just say 2000. Let's just say 1990. Fast forward in 1990, internet is being invented and we are still using the same old curriculum that didn't really help very many kids, I should say. Unless you graduated as a doctor or maybe as one of these engineer, like one of these specific jobs that require high-tech sort of like knowledge and stuff like that. So we go into the digital world and education slowly by slowly kind of lost meaning. Like you can go to school, you graduate, you're a smart person, you don't have a job. Why? Because the digital world or the computer world kind of took away a bunch of jobs, kind of took very many people out of their what? Out of their positions in workplaces. So in 2020, UNEB changed the curriculum for the students. Like I said, last year's candidates were the last of the batch that did the old curriculum. Now we are going into the new curriculum. I'm going to explain what the curriculum entails and what is the difference between the old one and the new one. But first, why didn't nobody ever teach us these things like this in the old days? Let us watch this lady explain these things. I wish they really explained these things to us like this. We would have been like so smarter than where we are right now. But anyway, let us watch this lady. She's going to explain quite a lot of things. And then later on, I'm going to try to compare the old curriculum and the new curriculum. And I tell you why the new curriculum might as well be as useless as the old curriculum.
Why didn't any of you bitches tell me that math is the language used to explain physics? And that physics is what the universe is saying about itself. I'm like 10 days into researching the music industry, this deep into this book thus far, and this book talks about how everything is connected. Shit just has never been explained to me this way. I'm a visual person, so I had to make a wall about this, okay? So here we go. In physics, it's energy, matter, and time. There's no meaning attached to it. It's just is. So physics is the universe talking about itself. Chemistry is physics plus bonding rules. You guys know the little drawings that bond shit to each other? It's like 2 hydrogens with 1 oxygen equals water. That is chemistry, right? Biology is chemistry, right? Plus self-maintenance, meaning it's an organism that takes in energy, uses it efficiently, repairs itself, adapts to disturbances, blah, blah, blah. Example, the body. There's also feedback loops in biology, meaning we take data and we interpret it, we make adjustments, and we therefore act in a new way. Think about evolution of mammals and shit like that. Psychology is biology plus perception. We are now aware of ourselves. Okay, we know that we're learning stuff, where our subjective experiences depend on our own unique circumstances. Anyways, sociology is psychology plus interaction with others. This is where norms, institutions, power, shared meaning, culture comes in. Reflexivity, when a system changes its behavior in response to how it is being observed, described, or understood, meaning you're on the street, somebody's going to see you, and then you know that you're being perceived, therefore you're going to switch up your behavior. You're going to switch up how you're looking at that person back, right? In a very basic sense. Econ is sociology plus scarcity. This is market manipulation, how people trade goods and services, blah, blah, blah. Models of humans being stripped away from their complexity to be better analyzed, categorized, and sold to. Think Amazon data collection, think Facebook data collection, ads, and all of that shit. Then you go one step further. It's political science is sociology plus authority, governance, coercion, legitimacy, laws, systems, politics, all of that stuff. And lastly, you have art.
I had to pause a little bit here, just so I can explain why politics exists in a way it exists, because it is one of the biggest dangers of society in a way, but it's also one of the biggest reason why society is the way it is. Because when she explains from the economy, now we are living in a digital world. Everything that has to do with our existence today is about data collection. This video was brought to your feed because of the data collection and the stuff that you've been watching throughout the entire probably year or 2 years or whatever, for how long you've been using internet. So we are in a data-driven society that everything that is going on, it has to be backed up by data. So the politics now comes in, whereby politicians are using data to pretty much rule their people, like to pretty much understand what do people watch, what do people want. Yes, even when you go into marketing and the products they make, they use data to see what are people gravitating to, what is the response to these things and this and this and this and that. So right now, if you do not teach your child how to protect their data or how to become one of the data miners, then probably that child is never really going to do so well in the next coming world, because we are going to have machines working. That means labor is out. We're going to have a lot of computers analyzing stuff. That means all the people who are in the analysis world, Banoba accountants and stuff like that, they are going to be out of work. Bank tellers and all of that stuff, they're going to be out of work. So very many people are going to be out of work, even in even doctors and medicine and stuff like that. AI is going to learn so much that has to do with human body and existence that whatever you need, you can get, like on the dot. You understand? So all of these things can only come to play when politicians and rich people decide, now this is how we want the world to move. And they are doing it right now.
Music. This is human systems, all of these, plus expression. So symbols that allow for us to create meaning and transmit them. Why didn't anybody explain that all of these things are not separate fields of study? Instead, they build off of each other. And philosophy is just the questioning of all of these.
Exactly. One thing she didn't put is religion, but I think it also comes within philosophy. So art and music, I personally am a music graduate. When I was studying music, I realized that, oh shit, so music is everything that has to do with the world, but explained in a way that is very rhythmic and very emotional in the same sense. Like, yo, these things are so connected. When I watched this video, I was like, oh shit, what are our kids learning? Like, it's so painful to know that I'm going to be a parent and I'm going to take my child to a school like my mom did, hoping, because when she was growing up, and my dad, of course, when they were growing up, they were told, "Obutasoma bulu mabukuru." So they did everything possible to see that they take their kids to school. We went to school, we graduated. But guess what? We came out with a lot of information, but without knowledge that we can survive within this world, this world today. And I wish the people who are in education today realize that this curriculum that they are going to teach these kids today should have been the one they taught us, so that we can survive within this world and be really innovative and everything, stuff like that, competence. We would have been more productive in Uganda, and people would be actually way smarter if this curriculum was sort of like put up in like 2000, probably let's say 1990, and they restructure everything. Now, going into this curriculum, comparing it to the old one. The old curriculum used to work around more about memorizing content and facts, which was like theories. We read so much and take so much books and stuff like that. And then the new one is about developing practical skills and values, which is competence. I don't know how you can do that, but yeah, okay. Probably the new kids know how it's working. Now, the old curriculum had 43 subjects available. I mean, there were many. We studied so much shit that was useless. But anyway, onto the new one, it was reduced to 21 subjects. In the old curriculum, you had 18 compulsory subjects. In the new one, you have 11. And of course, 12 subjects if you want to like go more than 11. And then in the old curriculum, the primary source of knowledge was only the lecturer or the teacher. They could come, they are the fountain of knowledge. They teach you, whatever they take you, that's the truth. take it. And then in the new curriculum, yes, they are the fountain of knowledge, but they tell you to do more research like it's done at the university. And then in the old curriculum, we used to do the final exam, the UNIB, as the final 100%, and it was graded like that. Now in the new curriculum, the UNIB comes with only 80%, and then the 20% is more of like the assessments that are done by the teachers in all these different subjects, and then they submit them at the end of the probably S4, let me say from like year 1 all the way to like year 4, they submit them to UNEB. Now that is a huge problem, because when you like think about schools that are in Uganda, the competence of teachers, like I don't know. Right now, the teachers that are teaching schools are the ones we went to school with. I really do remember how those classes used to be like. I just cannot trust any of those people with my kid. Like, I'm not saying that I'm the smartest, but I'm like, no, for you, do you remember the kids you went to school with? Now, can you imagine that those people are the ones treating us today? They are the doctors, they are the nurses, they are... Can you trust your friends? The ones who were like your friends back then? Because right now, they are the people who are in these positions. They are the teachers of your kids. So I'm like, how competent are they to test my kid? Like, can we keep the homogeneous way of grading kids from like Nakapidipiditi to Kampala to Wakiso and all of these places? Is that possible? Like, I don't know, man. This whole thing is so gimmicky. Anyway, I don't want to talk it down. Continuing, the old grading was more about the distinction, which is like the D1 all the way to like F9, the failure. I got some of those F9s back in the day because this system really never really worked for me as a person who was like an overthinker. Like I could think so much shit. And then you give me stuff to like, now this is what it is and it's like that, you answer it like this. And I'm like, it doesn't make sense to me though. Can you explain to me how this works? Like, they never really explained stuff. I loved so much geography and biology because they explained stuff on how we exist and trying to make my brain understand why we are here in a way. And I never really understood religion because it doesn't like the whole CRE, it doesn't like really like root from a place of proof and the ability for a person to go like, this is like this because it's like this and it's proved like this. I was never a physician, I was never a chemist, but still I could understand the level of like what they explained because there was like proof to everything. Now going on to the new curriculum, it's more about the excellent who gets the A and then the E, the achievement. Though this feels like more like kids who don't really like understand stuff. Failing is good. Failing teaches you to do more. But then again, if you're just gonna pass people just like that, just because we cannot fail, I mean, that's not my strength. I mean, you fail when that's not your strength. You have to fail. You either learn it or you don't. But rather making a person pass just because this system is based on competency that you're going to pass where your competency is, the balance doesn't really balance. Anyway, what do you think about that lady's video? Like, do you think it would have been more better for us to learn that all of these things systematically are connected? And do you think this new curriculum is going to help Ugandan children probably in the next coming 20 years because they will be existing and working within the next coming 20 years, maybe 15? Do you think the world is going to be in the same place today where we are today? Or do you think they're going to struggle just as much as we have struggled to fit within this whole times of employment whereby I work from home, I don't even have to get out to go to get money. Yet, back in the day, within the days of our parents, the one who was educated was the one who could drive to like work, and then they have offices and stuff like that. Today, I don't need an office. Today, I can work from home and make a lot of money. That's why I say I feel sorry for parents who are going to have kids within this generation. It is that painful that if they do not understand how the system works, and if they do not see or predict what just might happen in the next coming couple of years, their kids are going to be as depressed as the parents are today because our parents never really anticipated the world we shall be living in. So you as a parent, if you do not anticipate what is going to happen in the next coming couple of years, your child will be doomed just as you were doomed. Thank you for watching and see you in the next one. Peace.